Welcome to War with a Mate. This is the podcast which works as a companion piece to me, James, and you.
Andy.
You, Andy. What do you like, Andy? Playing the game, the campaign for North Africa. We're going to be playing it to completion. You already know that, though. Being here this long, a nice even dozen of these episodes is what today marks. And what a day it's been.
Yeah, fairly eventful day. Well, not really in games terms. We're doing the hedging we do at the start of every episode.
Should we just not say this part anymore? They know where we're going with it. But we've been doing bits and pieces around the game. The game looks a bit different now, though.
Looks very different. I bought 5 picture frames.
And they are big picture frames.
Yeah.
If you know anything about the game, which you should by now, come on. The individual 5 pieces of the map that make up the big, long 10-foot map, 9-foot map, now they're all in individual picture frames, all 5 of them, lined up alongside each other like some piece of beautiful art.
Yeah, and we've moved from the floor to a series of tables and benches and piles of books.
Yeah, you've got everything stacked up. I came in and it looked sublime. Just a row of 5 picture frames housing these pristine maps. Everything looked gorgeous. And it has remained gorgeous. We didn't knock any over. We didn't smash the picture frames.
No grubby fingerprints on the maps anymore.
No.
Not that happened before, but now it won't.
Now it won't. Now it can't. And we will get them on the picture frames, obviously.
Oh, yeah, but that's what they're for.
Yeah, they're there to get all grimy, and then once a month we'll wipe them down. We'll wear our tank tops, and we'll roll them up.
Roll up our tank tops.
So our bellies are on show.
Oh, God.
And then we'll wet ourselves up. Sorry, we'll not wet ourselves. This has got away from me a little bit. I'm painting a very unpleasant picture. Everything looks great, and no one's wet themselves.
In a tank top they've rolled up.
No one's done that. Everything's clean.
And they won't be ever, let alone monthly.
Oh, right. Maybe once.
No.
Just once.
It's a firm rule of mine.
I'm going to ply you with some alcohol and some caffeine. So I guess Buckfast or a vodka Red Bull.
Or an espresso martini.
A what? An espresso? You mean espresso?
Yeah, sure.
Haven't you learned from Sabrina Carpenter?
No.
You haven't learned anything from her?
No, she's not a great teacher.
Wow, that's... I'll move past that.
I'm sorry. What has she taught you?
She taught me all about, she doesn't know much about desperation. Can't relate to it.
What's that taught you?
I'm desperate to finish the game, so I've clearly not learned much from her. I'm desperate to get to the end of this.
You've learned how little you relate to her.
Yeah, I can't relate to Sabrina Carpenter.
That's
what
fair.
I learned. We've not got much in common.
No.
Talent.
She doesn't have a podcast.
Oh, she might actually. No, I doubt
it. She probably does also.
Everyone has a podcast.
Everyone's got a podcast. They let us have one.
Yeah, the guys.
The pod guys.
Yeah, they were really generous to let us have this.
Yeah.
And we use it to talk tangentially about the game.
Yeah.
Mostly other stuff. But in terms of the game, I now understand how shipping works. Again, just in the context of the game.
Yeah. Don't go and start on real supply lines, but
yeah, this is
starting to get a grasp of the fictional ones.
Yeah, this isn't the Maersk podcast. This is the Campaign for North Africa podcast. The one and only as well, I think. No one else is doing this. Rightly so. The shipping stuff was actually not as grueling as I thought it was going to be. When we sat down and had a look through it, I was pretty tentative, pretty worried that it was going to be a lot more complicated. But it really just boils down to, I get to ship this many tons of things every turn. Where do I want to ship them to? And in this practice scenario, it's boiled down even simpler, because instead of the usual 6 shipping lanes I get in the main game, I only get half of that. I just get 3 of them.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I just choose where I'm going to ship things to of those 3 lanes. And you, at the start of each turn, get a chance to bomb those shipping convoys and therefore reduce a bunch of the supplies that are going to show up in Tobruk, Benghazi, and Tripoli.
Yeah, bomb the shit out of them.
And I also found out that it's a realistic possibility I can use my transport planes to fly all the way over to Tripoli, pick up some supplies, bring them back home, and I can also use the boats, which I didn't know I had until today.
Yeah, you got 3 boats?
I have 4.
Isn't one of them stuck in a harbour?
No, so I get 4 coastal shipping boats.
Right.
One of them is a capacity of 2,000, the other 3 of 1,000 each. And I also have the San Giorgio, I believe it is.
Yep.
Something I've made reference to in the past, but didn't really understand what it was. What it is a half-sunken Italian warship, which is just outside Tobruk's port, which reduces the capacity of Tobruk's port. But it does mean if your ships get near, I'm going to shoot them with my boat. The boat can't move. You've got lots of warships. I've just got one.
Yeah.
Can't move it, but I can fire at you with it. So watch out. Stay away.
I'm just going to avoid that.
What is it that Pete says in Friends? When he's trying to become the ultimate fighting champ and he's in the full body cast.
Oh, chef.
Yeah. That's not what he says.
He goes, "Oh, chef."
He doesn't turn around and just say, "Oh, chef," which would be great foreshadowing for Chef when that came out.
The documentary about the making of Iron Man.
I don't think that's what that film is.
It is. It's a metaphor.
Explain to me right now, and I'm going to put you on the spot and we're not going anywhere until you do. Tell me what a metaphor is right now.
It's when a thing is... You don't use the word like or as, because then it's a simile. But it's a simile that doesn't use the words like or as.
Oh, sweet summer child. You know what? Fine, because I couldn't say it any better myself. I would also use the word simile twice in the description of what a metaphor is.
It's when a thing's not really a thing, but you pretend it is a thing.
It's
art.
It's when words gaslight you.
I keep doing that.
We
need to get rid of them.
I think you're just easily confused.
Oh, yeah.
Which we weren't today. God, it just felt like real good...
Smooth sailing.
Yeah. And hey, a lot of it was boat-related today. We did a lot of boat stuff. This is the most boat-related stuff we've done so far. And in a desert campaign, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Although it's weird, boats are going to be the most important thing, maybe.
Trucks are the most important. Boats are...
Trucks to the sea.
They're trucks to the sea. They're aqua trucks.
Yeah. So they're the second most important.
Yeah, they're big trucks with no wheels. And a bow.
Normally a captain.
A stern?
A stern man on the ship.
Stern man, an angry man. All of my boats are manned by fascists.
So that's a personal choice.
No, it's historically accurate. You think there were non-fascists on those boats?
Probably.
Yeah, it's probably a few, but...
flee the fascist land and live on the open ocean.
You don't...
Shipping things for fascists.
No, it's exclusively coastal shipping. They're tied right to the shoreline of the North African campaign. So everything they're doing relates directly to the shore. They're not in open water.
No. So I guess, yes, they're all fascists. They're all fascist sea captains.
Fascists fear the open sea. That's where Davy Jones can get them.
Yeah. The natural enemy of the fascists.
Have you ever gazed upon the green flash, Master Gibbs?
No, I haven't.
You're the Master Gibbs to my monkey. You know the monkey.
Jack.
We named the monkey Jack.
Yeah, you're a little monkey.
Yeah. Well, the monkey didn't have a little monkey. Captain Barbosa had a little monkey.
The best guy on the show.
The show.
The best guy in the films.
What, Captain Barbosa?
Yeah.
Geoffrey Rush.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
He also
definitely.
played...
He's the guy having the most fun.
He also played Casanova Frankenstein in the film Mystery Men.
It's actually Casanova Frankenstein's monster.
Ooh, that is a sophisticated joke. The everyman won't really get that because most people actually misinterpret it and think that the monster's
very
Frankenstein. The monster's not actually called Frankenstein, you fucking idiots.
He's called Casablanca.
Who loves you, baby?
Is that a reference?
That's Telly Savalas.
Oh.
You're not a big fan?
No.
Well, you also don't like Sabrina Carpenter, so you are somewhere in the middle of that spectrum. The Telly Savalas to Sabrina Carpenter. The scientists are still looking into it. They're still not sure. They're still not sure how that happened.
Mm-hmm. I'd say I'm more chaotic Sabrina.
It's not the only thing that they're not sure on. Did you hear about the baby that was born with a glass head?
What?
Doctors are still looking into it. You like that one?
Yeah, it tickled me.
Well, you're welcome. A little gift from me to you. So, beyond the shipping, we also looked at distribution of airfields and putting our planes in them. I got all of my squadrons sorted today.
Same.
Every single one. All of our airships and our wet ships are distributed wherever they need to go. And now I just need to put the things on my wet ships and sail them to Libya.
So they can be transported around by your dry ships.
By my dry ships. Yeah. By my wheel ships, I like to call them. So everything is in working order. I know what I'm getting. I know where I'm putting it. I know who I'm giving it to. It's to my planes. It's to my men, who are all on the board now, in the picture frames. Everything is coming at Millhouse. I can't see how this could go wrong.
Like 2 months ago, I asked you, do you know what you're doing on your first turn? And you panicked.
I did.
Is that panic sort of resolved a little?
You know what? God, it actually has. I actually feel like I know what I'm going to be doing.
Good.
This is a huge step. Anyone who's been listening to this up to this point knows how frantically terrified I was of this game. And I am still a little bit unsettled, mostly because I found more sort of jokey asides that the rulebook made reference to earlier. But overall, I do think this is looking like a game that can be played.
Well, it has to be.
Everybody makes such a big deal out of this game.
Yeah, it only took us 3 months to get ready.
But we know the rules now.
Yeah.
The only thing I was sort of unsure about was the shipping stuff. Now, it's just a case of... Oh, no, there is one other thing that I'm still a little bit iffy on, and it's replacement points, which is where you can, if your men get injured, you can ship in replacements. And I'm still a little bit iffy on that. But I wholeheartedly think, apart from that, I know how the game functions.
Yeah, most of the headline stuff, like, we'll figure that out. Prisoners are probably going to be a thing.
Yeah, come to think of it, prisoners we've read through. We know what the rules look like. And, yeah, it's fairly straightforward. They just take up resources when you got them captured. But we did that in the practice turn that we did of combat, where we found out how many men were lost.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. A lot of men were injured and captured.
Yeah.
So we've tried that. So hopefully when we revisit it, it just feels like a trip down memory lane. So
I'm predicting some pretty ineptly run prisoner camps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to feed them. This is a bit of a it's slightly.
You can't go Eastern Front on this.
Yeah. I was going to refer to it as a slightly nicer environment compared to
Eastern
other
Front than hell on earth.
Yeah. I'm really hesitant to call this a nice environment because. I mean, desert warfare.
No, it's brutal. It's just, there was worse stuff going on.
Which is horrible to think about. You know what?
To be honest, of like the 4 major theatres, it might be the best one.
Yeah, well, 4 major theatres. So you've got the Eastern Front.
Yeah. Western Front.
Yeah.
Pacific.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Pacific's a nightmare.
What was the worst about the Pacific?
I mean, it's all jungle hellholes. You're like more likely to die of like dengue fever than getting shot. Brutal island to island fighting.
Oh yeah, jumping around archipelagos would be horrible.
And a bunch of people fighting on behalf of like a sun god, so they'll never surrender.
Yeah, that's the last thing you really want to come up against in any war. It's a zealot.
Yeah,
because that's just you can't really walk your way around that one. There's no quarter.
Well, they did end up island hopping them, which is just, this island's not strategically important, let's miss it.
Which I feel like this game will go in a similar way, just with huge swathes of the desert being just a non-viable option. Yeah. We start the game with so many people grouped together, ready to fight. So my plan, as I was talking to you about today, since we've been very transparent with how our plans are looking this early on, a lot of my plans is to get as many resources as possible readily available that doesn't rely on trucks. So I can just ship stuff.
Wild move.
I just want to have such minimal truck involvement to begin with, so I can slowly learn the trucks as we go, which I know is completely counter to everything we've been saying.
I like how, so to not learn the trucks, which seem to be a relatively simple system, you're going to master shipping things via air and sea.
Yeah.
To avoid the thing the game's built around.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to make sure that I'm getting things safe and just ready to go instead
I
of...
don't know how my strategy adapts when you've said fuck the trucks.
Yeah, but you said fuck the trucks as in you need to fuck up the trucks, you need to destroy them.
Yes, but if there aren't any, I don't know what to do.
Fuck the planes, the boats. You know what? Because again, what came up again today, you may remember, everyone, the camels. And the rule about shipping camels, dead camels, living camels.
More discussion on that.
Yeah, we were trying to wax about that because we were looking at the rules to airdrop supplies. And you can airdrop supplies. You can fly your planes over. You can drop them into sort of areas where people are actually in combat. I can airdrop supplies to my men that are fighting your men. And it says you can only airdrop certain things, which are stores, so, food and stuff, and ammunition. And I was trying to figure out if dead camels fall into either of those.
It doesn't say anywhere. There's just dead camels, so...
Because I was thinking, if you could airdrop dead camels into a sort of fighting area, into like a conflict zone, you could use them as like sandbags.
I mean, I feel like it would be brutal on morale if you're like just hiding in a foxhole and then a camel lands on your mate.
That would be... Yeah, that's what you're talking about. The worst way to die in the middle of warfare.
It might be the most confusing.
Andy, it's 16 minutes in. We're still talking about the game.
Unprecedented.
We did briefly talk about Sabrina Carpenter, but wow,
We looped back to the game pretty quickly.
I just wanted to say congratulations. That's fantastic work on our part. Wow, 17 minutes. You people, the thing is, at this point, everyone who's listening is used to us not talking about the game.
Yeah,
all the hardcore game fanatics, they tuned out a while ago. So now we're just alienating.
Now we're alienating the people who don't care about the board game
and just want to hear the words of wisdom that we have to share. What a thing to strike! Well, in a little while, we've got a bit of a treat for everyone, haven't we? We've decided on a segment that we're going
to trial some segments. See how structure feels.
Oh, God. What is going on today? We are firing on all cylinders. We've got the map in picture frames. We've got a segment to try out.
We're ready to go. The next thing we do will be on the actual game turn.
Yeah, the next thing we do is just playing the... I'm not saying it.
No.
I'm not saying it. I'm going to go at least one episode without saying it. Yeah, we're gonna start that part of the round. So it means... my stuff being bombed by your guys and me bombing some of your stuff, which is exciting. Yeah. All of the off-map stuff, because we start off with all of the...
Yeah, because the map's only 10 foot long and 3 foot tall, so why would all the action be happening on it?
Well, we were talking about it earlier because the game has a sort of editor's note section where they talk about other stuff they wanted to include, which you brought to my attention, unfortunately. And it included stuff like condition of bakeries in Italy around the time of the war and how that was going to affect food chain supplies in North Africa.
And someone rightfully walked into the office and went, pack it in. You were meant to release this like 6 years ago.
I feel like just you saying that there, have we been possessed by the spirit of SPI? When the company fell apart, did some sort of haunting happen in the particular version of the game that we bought?
And we're playing the game with the same intensity they designed it with.
Yeah, and the same level of procrastination, where we just keep putting it off with other aspects of, and there's air quotations going on here, creativity, where we're just fucking around with other things near the game and not really making the progress we should in the timescale we promised.
I mean, yes, that's what's happening.
Cool. I just wanted to say that on live, Mike. Yeah, but I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, you've got a lot of planes, way more than I thought you did.
I've got 133 of one particular type of bomber.
I don't think I have that many planes in total.
Yeah, you really don't have anywhere near as many planes as me. Air superiority, baby.
But all your planes are broken at the start.
Most of my planes are broken, and I'm not allowed to fix them for the first turn.
Way.
That's a horrible rule that they've implemented. But I got to go first. Well, sorry, I got to choose who goes first. It's going to be me.
Oh, it is going to be you.
In the words of NSYNC. It's going to be me.
Oh, no.
Oh. I've, yeah. Shouldn't have done that, sorry. Yeah, you're not happy about
Come
that.
with a screeching halt here.
Ooh. Well, that was productive for about 20 minutes. And now...
Better than most.
Yeah, now we're treading water.
Are you going to tell us a story about a recent excursion, I think?
A recent... Oh, well, I was going to talk to you about it earlier on, but I thought, well, I'll talk to you about it now.
Save it for the pod.
Save it for the pod. It's completely unrelated to the game. It's because you... It's because you asked me about if I saw the halftime show for the Super Bowl.
Just to date this.
Just to date... Yeah, so the Super Bowl has just happened fairly recently.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. And I was down in... I was in the city of Birmingham when the Super Bowl occurred.
I mean, obviously, I assume you went there to watch the game.
That's why I went. I went there to see a band, and I experienced a very, very long bus journey to get there because I thought, what's better than paying a lot of money for a short train journey? Paying no money at all, basically, for a very long coach journey. So that was an endeavour. So I was in Birmingham, and I went to a gig, and then after the gig, I was in the taxi on the way back to the hotel and realised that it was a Sunday night, so everywhere was going to be closed.
But the big game was on.
But I completely forgot the Super Bowl was on because I don't follow American sports, or any sports, really. I was in the Uber on the way back to the hotel. I was like, is there anywhere that's still open tonight? And the guy was like, I'm going to call my friend because he works on the doors sometimes. So he called his other Uber friend.
Okay.
And they were on the phone.
Was he definitely an Uber friend?
Well, he said he's also a taxi driver.
Okay.
So he called his friend and was like, I've got a passenger here, and he's asking if anywhere will be open tonight. And they were talking about all these locations that I didn't know. And then they eventually settled on a bar. And my Uber driver went, yeah, I'll take you there. I'll get you there now. So he cancelled the ride, just switched it off, and then started going down all these like side streets. And I was like, Then I got a notification from Uber saying
Don't go to a second location.
It said, your trip ended unexpectedly. Is everything okay? And I was like...
I'll let you know in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to say it's not okay, because at the moment, all that's going on is a charitable excursion from this guy. So I don't want to say something's gone wrong. I'll wait it out.
But you might get out the car and get murdered, in which case you won't be able to leave a review.
Yeah, that's true. So it's a sort of double-edged sword. But nonetheless, I stuck through with it, and we arrived at a bar, and it was... Have you seen the film Coyote Ugly?
I know of it.
Well, the bar was called Coyote Ugly.
Oh, nice. A nice reference.
So I went into Coyote Ugly.
How's the Sunday night shift at Coyote Ugly in Birmingham?
Outside, a woman handed me a card with a sort of free shot token on.
Okay.
Like, oh, you get a free shot? And I was like, all right, cool. So I went in expecting, of the film, Coyote Ugly.
I'm now expecting, the In-Betweeners film.
Well, funny you say that. Because through the doors of Coyote Ugly, what I find is about 3 people in this bar.
Real ranchers.
2 of them were staff.
Road dogs.
2 of them were staff, and I'm disappointed to report none of them were dancing on the bar to various hits from the late 90s, early 2000s. Instead, they were just sort of stood, 2 of them chatting behind the bar while somebody enjoyed a quiet Sunday night drink. So I went over to the bar, and it's like, oh, I've got this token for a free shot. I'm like, oh, you do have to buy a drink to get the free shot. And I was like, well, to be fair, yeah, I wasn't going to just cash in this one free shot at Coyote Ugly. I mean, it was tempting to just turn back around immediately.
To be fair, I would have left.
But I was like, well, I've just had a taxi journey that I don't think I was charged for. And I still need to check that, actually. I don't know if I was charged for that journey. So I sat down, had my actual drink and my free shot, and then thought, you know what? Maybe this isn't the place to stay. So next door popped. And arrived at, it was like an Australian-American sports bar. It was a weird mixture. That place was rammed.
Well, of course, the big game was on.
Like, absolutely rammed. Like, barely a space to, like, maneuver through the tables. Maneuver through the tables. And the Super Bowl was on. So, sat down. The halftime show had just started.
Yeah.
Saw Samuel L. Jackson up on the screen. I thought, right, here we go. This could be good. And spent a good while there. And saw the halftime show, was really good, enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Not really a Kendrick Lamar fan, don't really, listen to his music, but brilliant show put on.
Yeah,
And
sort of same boat.
so all in all, thank you, Birmingham taxi driver, for taking me
Next
close
door.
to the bar that I went to. So he clearly wasn't a Super Bowl fan as well, otherwise he would have known immediately to take me there. But all in all, yeah, it worked out well. So briefly thought I was getting kidnapped. In the end, saw a pretty spectacular halftime show.
And a very lackluster game, if you watched it.
I didn't really pay much attention to the game, to be honest. I saw the halftime show, and I'm not, like I say, I don't follow many sports at all. So American football sort of lost on me. I just enjoyed the atmosphere, to be fair. Nice place, good vibe, good drinks, and that was it. That was the evening. All in all, good time. And you watched it, not live by the sounds of it, but
No, I caught it after. Watched the highlights of the game and then the halftime show.
probably the way to do it. I would imagine.
Halftime show was better than the game.
Because you follow American sports fairly.
I follow American football.
Yeah.
I don't watch basketball or baseball.
Yeah, the other two sports. Well, they have ice hockey as well.
Yeah,
But those are all of the sports in America, I believe.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Those are the biggies.
So yeah, American football's fine if you're watching highlights.
But otherwise, it's just adverts.
Because it's like a 4-hour game. You just get like 20 minutes that are good.
It's played over a very small space of time, isn't it? But everything's like stoppage.
It's like 60 minutes of actual time, like 15 minutes. But there's so many like clock stoppages and stuff, it takes like 3-4 hours for a game.
Which explains why it felt like it went on so long for me after the halftime show.
I mean, yeah.
Because it did.
Yeah.
Another 2 hours by the sounds of it.
It was also basically decided at halftime.
That it was a
The
foregone
second
conclusion.
half was pretty much pointless.
Well, I can't even attest to what the score was at that point, so yeah. I can't say I paid much attention to it, but entertaining show.
Yeah.
An all-around pleasant time. Now I'm
I
back.
do like he's just blasting his rival at like the biggest show of the
Yeah,
globally.
that clip of him when he's sort of glaring down the camera when he calls out Drake.
Yeah.
And I had to look into that a little bit afterwards because I didn't really get the beef. I don't really know what the background was on that. I'm still a little bit hazy on it, but I get the sentiment of what he was trying to say and the sort of things he pulled out the bag to do it. And I mean, it's quite the public spectacle to get back at someone. So I guess that's
Well done.
big drama.
Yeah.
Whereas here, nothing but peace. Which I guess brings me onto our segment that we had an idea for, which is all centered around the fact that we're going to be doing this for a long time, and almost all of it is going to be us at each other's throats.
Yeah.
And even when we've been recording for the last 12 episodes, I feel like a lot of it has been us disagreeing with each other. It's been a lot of, whether it's been about fast food conventions, whether it's been about the game itself, whether it's been about just anything we talk about, we've disagreed a lot. So I thought that instead we should maybe try and find a bit of common ground.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to stop us so we remain friends throughout this process.
So
Common ground.
And now for something nicer. A little oasis in the war. It's time for some common ground. I'm trying the intro for common ground. I'm recording it. Maybe. Yeah. So the idea behind common ground is each nice. So we're gonna each week one of us is going to be tasked, we're going to alternate with bringing an idea to the table that we simply just can't disagree on, something that we think the other person is just so insimpatico that we're going to definitely agree on it. And it means that we each week get this nice little bonding
I've
experience.
misunderstood this.
Right, what did you think it was?
I thought it was something we disagreed on that we wanted common ground on.
Okay, well, maybe so. Well, we can try that too.
Okay.
As long as we can try and get to a common ground. But I guess if anything then, this is me starting off easy because this week I've volunteered to go first. And I think I've got us a common ground, Andy.
Okay.
My common ground suggestion this week is that it's a bad idea, objectively, to order McDonald's on Uber Eats.
I agree, yeah. No, Everything gets rubbish by the time it arrives.
It doesn't have stopping power. If you order a McDonald's on Uber Eats or any other delivery service, it comes and it's horrible. The worst part of it, it's the chips.
Yeah. Because they're good for about 2 minutes from, like, scoop to just being done.
Yeah, you get them out of the chip incubator that they have at McDonald's, and they start to die off immediately. So by the time it gets there in the sort of sweaty foil bag that the delivery drivers have, it's become this horrible, crusty, and somehow cold mess. It's like heat has somehow escaped that area, but they've still dried out further.
Yeah, they're really bad. And the rest of it's not much better, I will agree.
The chicken nuggets, they have a bit of holding power. The burgers do hold up the best, I would say.
Oh, the best, but not great.
Yeah.
The thing is, it'll take like 50,000 years to rot, but it is good for less than 10.
That's the thing. It's not biodegradable, but it has such a small period of time where it's edible and enjoyable.
Maybe reduce the half-life of the food.
Somehow make it
but
fresher.
Make it taste better for like a reasonable amount of time.
I can't really think of a fast food that's worse to order, like a takeaway that's worse to order, where you're not in the restaurant.
Ooh.
Because McDonald's was never designed for this.
No. Pasta, maybe?
Oh, I guess. I've never ordered pasta.
No, I've never even
delivery.
tried it.
Well, you've mentioned before, because I've sort of waxed about the idea of maybe ordering a steak from Miller and Carter on Uber Eats before. You shot that down regularly. Told me not to.
Just a tremendously bad idea.
You know what it does? It's one of those things where the convenience of it appeals so much. The idea of just being sat playing Dungeons and Dragons, a few drinks in, getting a bit peckish, and then going, you know what? I can have a steak from Miller and Carter right now, but I don't know how that would hold up.
It might hold up fine, but for the money it costs, just wait a day or like go to Miller and Carter.
Yeah, it's just the novelty of flicking through a delivery service and then going, I can get a steak. I don't have to get a pizza. I don't have to get a McDonald's.
You just want to feel more opulent.
Yeah, I just want that feeling of I'm not just ordering a takeaway. I'm enjoying a steak.
An experience.
Yeah, they actually bring some of the staff from Miller and Carter, which is why it's so expensive.
I mean, yeah, that'll run it high.
Yeah, the labour costs alone. I mean, that's why it costs £700 to order a steak from Miller and Carter and Uber Eats.
Which I'm going to go out on a limb here. Too much.
I actually don't think they mark up the price as much, though, you know.
They do in this restaurant, though.
In the restaurant, but you are paying for the experience then.
Yeah, so the markup is...
It's already there. And you don't get the experience.
On the food and they remove the experience.
Yeah, no, you're right. Oh, God, you know what? That feels good. You know what? Being able to not argue
Order
with
a
you.
steak.
No, to not argue with you.
Oh, okay.
To find that common ground. How do you feel now? Do you feel... Was that cathartic?
Yeah, it was a nice little interlude.
I feel good.
I feel that's like punching you in the face.
Right. I guess that's the end of common ground. Well, that's a... Yeah, that feels a little bit like some sort of organization.
Yeah.
I feel like between the picture frames and me learning fundamental rules of the game, maybe all of them now, it does feel like we've just smashed this out the park. I don't know that we can get better than this.
I mean, I hope so.
Well, we'll get more experienced with it. We'll get more used to it, but better? This is the peak.
Don't say that.
That reminds me, actually, I was looking at a diagram of people who died on Mount Everest, and there's a surprising amount that die right at the top.
Yeah, this is another... We might agree on this.
All right, is this Common Ground Part 2?
Yes. Climbing Everest isn't impressive anymore.
Okay.
Like,
So
if someone told me they'd climbed Everest, my reaction would be like, okay. Like, it's not a great feat of mountaineering or stuff. You essentially queued up somewhere and didn't die.
Yeah, because
it's not like a...
I was looking into it a little bit when I saw the illustration of where people have died, and there's a sort of cut-off point where it's the oxygen level that really becomes, by the looks of it, the
death zone.
Yeah, the huge barrier.
Yeah.
There's a lot that died before that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot I think there's more that died afterwards. But it does make you think, yeah, the temperatures are obviously horrible, but it does feel like now, and again, we are in no position to know this or any sort of comment about it, to be fair. But it does feel like there's some sort of like formula to it now where...
Well, have you not seen the pictures of people queuing up to get to the actual summit?
Yeah.
Like a line down the mountain. And like a lot of people apparently die on that because it's like you can't move forward or backwards.
Oh, so it's just a queue that you can't get out of.
And then just a guy dies and you just sort of step over him and take a selfie at the top of a mountain. Well done.
Yeah, like there must be some
like if
sort
someone
of
there's
formula
still
to
impressive
it
mountains to climb, but it's not Everest.
Well, it's because Everest it's the tallest.
Yeah.
So everybody looks at it and goes, "Well, I want to climb the tallest," but there's got to be more. Well, I say there's got to be. I imagine there's more difficult ones in terms of the terrain to navigate.
I think a lot of the Himalayas around it is actually more difficult climbing wise.
Because just because it's the tallest doesn't mean it's the most difficult to wander up.
Yeah.
I say wander. That's such a casual term for scaling it. I never could.
But I think it's like 15, 20 grand or something.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Like you just pay the Sherpas.
Sorry, you pay to climb Everest?
Yeah.
What?
You pay to climb it, and then the Sherpas, who are like the native guides.
Yeah.
My understanding is they basically carry all your shit and set camp up for you. It's like the glamping equivalent of mountaineering.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't know you. I imagine there'd be some sort of like fee maybe to like the local area where it's almost like a sort of an admission ticket equivalent where you get to go to the base of Everest and then you go up the trail. I was thinking maybe like a couple £100. I think you need... it like helps the economy around the area because it's a tourist attraction at heart.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe you pay a bit of money that circulates around there. But thousands of pounds for, like you say, it's a bit like when you go to a festival and you've got the option to pay for the extra bathrooms and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's pretty outlandish that it's thousands of pounds just to...
Yeah, it typically costs between 30 and 100 grand, depending on like...
100 grand to climb Everest?
Depending on like the level of service and guide company you use and stuff.
Oh.
Which is also the thing of like why it's not impressive. It's like, you've paid 100 grand and they've done all of the like... They've plotted the route, they've carried most of your shit.
Learning today that Mount Everest is pay to win is one of the saddest facts I've learned all year.
Yeah.
So that's horrible. And you know what? That does reinforce the idea. I do agree with you that, and again, I don't know, maybe this is a bit of a controversial thing we've decided on. Maybe it's just you and I united against a lot of the world here. But no, I think compared to other tasks, not on its own merit, but compared to some other things, I think I would find a lot more things impressive than somebody climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah.
I think that's...
It's not
really
it's
taking
like
the shine off it knowing that you can buy it.
Yeah, it's slid down the list of like stuff that's like impressive to go out and do.
Yeah, like I would never do it. I can't do it. I just know for a fact I'd be one of the bodies up there. But there's a lot of impressive things I can't do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things where, and this is so hypocritical and just shallow, but there's a lot of things where I know objectively I couldn't do them. But if someone told me they could do it, I'd be like, I'm not that impressed though.
Yeah.
Like if somebody said to me, I can speak another language, I can only speak English.
I actually find that relatively impressive.
But if someone can only speak one other language, I would be like, yeah, but other people... It's the access to information that we have where hearing about people who can speak like 15 languages, I'm like, whoa, that's impressive. If
if someone's just bilingual, you might as well only know one.
If I can meet someone and they're bilingual, it's like, yeah, you can do that, cool. But there's other people who can do like 15 languages. What you've done is more impressive than me, but it's not impressive overall.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I'm just not fascinated by it. That's
Otherwise,
what it is.
you would have learned all those languages.
That's what it is. It's the lack of fascination. I'm not fascinated by it.
Yeah.
If I'm not fascinated, I'm not interested.
Another hot take. I don't think black belts are impressive.
Oh wow! I guess Common Ground's become more of a sort of brainstorming session where we can just get out things that we want to say, hoping the other person validates our opinion.
Yeah,
black belts. Yeah, I think it's
because did you have a bunch of people at your school who were black belts and they were like?
I know of
13 or something.
Yeah, I know of in my school there was definitely someone who was like a black belt, and I know of someone I know of them tangentially who I think was like a kickboxer But that was a game when they were like 13.
Yeah, and they're like, how do you can't, that's not a real black belt. And I feel like anyone I talk to who has like a martial arts belt got it when they were like a child.
Well, it's because a lot of people do get into it when they're younger, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long that stays a skill that you just have banked.
I don't know how it translates from like kid belt to adult.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Is like a kid black belt like a blue belt in like real martial arts?
Yeah, you know, let us know. We're not going to look into this. If you know about this, send us an email.
Yeah.
Because people aren't emailing us.
Someone, please.
Just send us an email. Just anything. Just send us a question. It can be about martial arts. It can ideally be about the game. What are you curious about when it comes to the game? Do you want to know some of the rules? Well, actually, you can just read the rulebook for that. I would say our opinion, but that's what we're here to talk about. No, it's actually valid that you're not getting in touch. We don't have anything really to offer when it comes to questions, but the offer's there. info@warwithamate.co.uk. Fire it over if you dare.
Yeah, just anything.
Just engage with us so we know you're not all bots.
We're not just screaming into the void.
Yeah, well, that's sort of what this is for. This is, again, just to make sure we're doing this. But today felt like the day where so much of it was the game.
Yeah.
And so little of it afterwards has felt like filling in blank space. Like, I actually still feel like I could talk about the game.
Yeah, like
Probably should have stuck with that and kept talking about the game.
Maybe do that in future,
But the organisation of it has been such a big part. Actually just sorting out how we're going to play the game is going to pay dividends down the line.
Yeah, I think spending the time getting all it. Because if we weren't keeping track of stuff properly, it's like one thing's not where it's supposed to be, and it's like, oh, fuck, like, where is it?
Yeah, I mean, we did find, to be fair, we lifted up picture frames with all the maps on today, and we found a stray, I think it was the 3rd
Indian motorized infantry.
Yes, yeah, we found one of your guys who don't come into the game until turn 36, which is, I think, 2029. So why they were out, no idea. Those little devils getting out there, cheeky little units.
Sneaking around
In their motorized vehicles. What are they like? The 3rd motorized Indian battalion or division.
Yeah.
Whoever they are, we won't see them for a while. I was thinking actually today when we were getting everything sorted, just that looming cloud of the Germans.
They're incoming.
I mean, a long way off, but one day we've got the Germans to worry about. That's a whole other thing. That's years in the future, literal years in the future.
If this is base camp, then that's the death zone.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
And if we finish this game, it'll be more impressive than climbing Everest. Because less people will have done it.
Less people will have done it. Less people, I will confidently say this right now,
will have died.
I mean, objectively, yeah.
Yeah.
But fewer people will ever finish this game than will climb Everest.
Probably this year.
Ever.
No, like, in the entire history of this game, less people complete it than will climb Everest this year.
Yes. No, agreed.
So, yeah, well, much more impressive. Someone's going to be like, I climbed Everest. I'm like, well, have you heard of Campaign for North Africa?
The unbeatable game. That's what they keep calling it anyway.
Mountain.
The hidden mountain. Yes, that's what this is. You might be traversing the arid, snowy wastelands of Everest, but we are traversing the deserts of our mind.
There we go.
You knew it was coming. Oh, this is it. Solid progress. We are moving with steady momentum. We are juggernauts of industry and media and entertainment. We are subtle, humble, and brave. Nothing's going to stop this train.
We've become sophisticated wargamers.
We are the sophisticated wargamer. We are the thinking man's podcaster. We're going for it. I think that's it. That's all we've got to say today, because all we've got to do now is get some rest for next week, because we are going full steam ahead, baby.
Climb the mountain.
Climb the mountain. And fuck the trucks. Good night.
Stay subtle, humble, and brave.